gathered here in unity of purpose. Instill within our hearts love and respect for each other. Open our minds with ideas, give us patient wisdom and foresight to plan and carry out those plans. Give us calm strength to build for the future, to lead, to teach, to create, to select, to govern, to direct, and in doing so, engender true sisterhood. Help us to enkindle that which is just, true, and good for our alma mater, Spelman College. We ask this in the name of one God, now and forever. Amen. Let us continue in prayer. God, we come to you at the start of Women's History Month, thanking you for the women. We give you praise for all the women who came before us, who paved a way for us, who made a way for us, who beat the odds. God, who stood up and stood out. We thank you for the women who danced to the beat of their own drums, who didn't take no for an answer. We thank you for the women whose shoulders we stand on, for the women who fought for justice and righteousness, who wouldn't let nobody turn them around. Thank you for the voices that cried out to you in prayer, who cried out and called out in the dark for change, to cover and protect us, who prayed over us and who helped us to come over, out, and through Spelman grad school, who brought us through med school and PhDs. God, we thank you for the women who prayed us out of danger seen and unseen. God, we thank you for the first who were willing to do the hard work of founding, initiating, and incorporating. We thank you for the funders of every movement. God, may the lives we live today make them proud. Multiply their efforts in us. Allow their legacy to live on as shining examples of your goodness and your mercy, your grace and your faithfulness. God, I pray for my Spelman sisters this afternoon, for their needs and their wants. God, meet them in the middle of both. Show yourself to be their sustainer, deliverer, provider, keeper, comforter, and mind regulator. Show yourself to be their guardian and their guide. Strengthen each of us where we feel weak. Encourage us so that we don't give up and our knees don't give out. Hold our tongues so we only speak love, light, and life. God, use us to change the world for the better. And while you're moving, move in the middle of the NAASC, our chapter and every chapter around this nation. Move on Spelman's campus. Touch the students, faculty, and staff. Be with our president, oh God, and her executive leadership as they serve. Now, God, allow everything we do during this meeting to be acceptable in your sight. We pray this in the name of one God who unites us as Spelman siblings. Let all my sisters and siblings say amen.
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 Crystal, y'all mute.
Thank you, Reverend Leah, for that prayer. Oh, it's not going down. We will now have the review of the minutes by Jennifer Tanner, our recording secretary.
Good afternoon, Spelman sisters. You have been able to find your February minutes that were sent to you. If you find that there are any omissions, changes, amendments that need to be made, you can just drop them in the chat. Also, Camille Patterson has submitted the sign-in, the electronic sign-in sheet for us. If you would take the time to go to the chat to sign in your name and email for attendance purposes, we would really appreciate that as well. Nothing further, Madam President-elect.
Thank you, Jennifer. And so as we look upon our reflections, let us not forget to provide care and attention for our Spelman sister Heather Hawes. She's class of '89. And, you know, a couple of months ago, she had a fire at her home. And so any way you can offer support to Heather, that would be great. And as we move into our new month, March is Women's History Month. And so we want to celebrate the women who are our Spelman sisters and who have also made remarkable achievements in their area of specialty. And so when you have a moment, you know, take some time to review some information about these special and fantastic women. It is also National Credit Education Month, and we will be hosting a credit education seminar on the 18th, the 19th of March. So you'll see that information coming soon in your calendar of events. Two of our two new initiatives is the Spell House Book Club Series, and that is coming up on March the 26th. And we also have Meet the Department lecture series. And the next professor that we'll be speaking or hearing from is Dr. Takundi, who is the Vice Provost for Global Education and Professor of International Studies at Spelman. And congratulations to C. Suzette. The executive board voted to add the historian committee to the chapter, and C. Suzette has agreed to be our historian for the rest of the year. So thank you so much to C. Suzette for taking on that role for the chapter. I also want to remind you that the NAASC national elections are coming up. They will start March the 6th and continue through the 20th. We have a candidate from our local chapter, Camille Sanders Patterson, who is a candidate for the National Financial Secretary position. And please note that Camille Sanders Patterson is not the only candidate running on the current slate. There's an entire slate of candidates. That information can be obtained from the national website at www.naasc.org. Regarding the college, the inauguration of our Dr. Helene D. Gale is going to be installed as the 11th president of Spelman College, and that will take place on Friday, April the 28th. So if you have the time on your schedule, please make it so that you are able to attend this event. It is going to be a glorious occasion as we welcome in our new president of the college. And the college also continues their support of the arts, and they have a new series coming up, Black American Portraits, that's going to be featured in the Spelman College Museum of Fine Art from February the 8th through June 30th. And so we're looking to plan an event so that chapter members can attend that together. So look forward to that information coming to you in the upcoming weeks. Mary Forbes, are you on, and can you say a little bit about the reunion vendors market that's going to be taking place?
Hi, Crystal. She isn't on, so I'll speak for her.
Oh, yes, that's right. Yes, Denise, thank you.
No problem. Good afternoon, sisters. Reunion is back in person, as many of you know. Mary Forbes, class of 1973, is in charge of our reunion market. And so she'll be hosting vendors for the reunions during the weekend, of May 17th through the 21st. But the vendor market will take place May 17th through the 18th at the GICC. It's $125 per vendor. There are only 50 spaces available. So please be sure to contact Mary Forbes, and I have both of her emails listed to go ahead and register for the vendors market. Are there any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Denise. And so with that bit from Denise, that will conclude the president's report. And so we'll now move forward with that of the corresponding secretaries, Robin Stokes, Dina Rogers.
Good afternoon, Spelman sisters. I hope everything is going well with you. It was so good to share with you during our time of networking. Here is the correspondence report for the chapter. We have not had any new correspondence since our last meeting, but always a few reminders. We, as Crystal Jackson has posted in the chat, regularly receive returned mails from items sent by the chapter to our members. So please make sure that your contact information is up to date in Member Planet, and that you notify the membership committee if you have any changes to your mailing address or email. The chapter mailing address and the email address for the corresponding secretary is on the screen. If you've recently mailed something that hasn't been read, please continue to give us patience, as we have experienced delays with the Postal Service. Finally, if you're not receiving emails from the chapter or believe that you have accidentally unsubscribed, please email to me with the address on the screen, and we'll help you troubleshoot that. The chapter uses a mass media platform, so a reminder, make sure to save us in your email address contact book so that your emails will go directly into your mail and not to spam or promotions. If there are no questions, this concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Robin. And we'll move forward to the report of the treasurer, Denise.
Good afternoon again, Spelman sisters. Our treasurer's report for the month of February is as follows. Our opening balance for Citizens Trust Bank is $140,595.61. Income, $32,477.89. Expenses, $9,226.17. Closing balance of Citizens Trust Bank, $163,847.33. Our PayPal opening balance, $12,309.89. Income, $1.49. Expenses, $126.03. A PayPal closing balance of $12,185.35, giving us total cash on hand of $176,032.68. Are there any questions? If not, that concludes the treasurer's report. Thank you.
Thank you, Denise. And so now we will start with the committee reports. And so let's hear from the bylaws committee chairs, Amanda, James, and Dina Rogers.
Thank you, sisters. So after this meeting, following right after this meeting, we will have some time to talk about the bylaws with any members who would like to stay on. So we're going to walk through the amendments. And just to also point out that the amendments will be voted on starting on March 12th. Anything else, Dina?
No, that's everything. The people that will be able to vote will be dues paying members as of February the 15th. That is the cutoff for voting.
So if you have the time, please stay on and we can talk about the bylaws as a group. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. Communications?
Yes, good afternoon again, Spelman sisters. Here is the report of the Communications Committee. Hopefully, you may have experienced a little bit of disconnection with the chapter and with the communications. Unfortunately, the chapter was attacked with some malware on our website. So that took us down for an extended period of time where we weren't able to use that medium. And then unrelated to that, we were having some email difficulties, but we have sorted out all of those troubles, and we should be back connected with you and regularly getting the correspondence out to you. So thank you for your patience in this process as we get back online. Next, we want to remind you that in addition to the chapter properties, we also have social media platforms for our Spelman Blue on the Greens that you will hear much more about. You've seen in the correspondence, and we'll hear more about through the course of the meeting. But we want to invite you to join us on our Spelman Blue on the Green social media platforms as well. So you can find us on Instagram and on Facebook, and dropping the information in the chat so that you can go ahead and connect to us on those platforms as well. In addition to that, hopefully you have received the Journal of Sisterhood. That is the communications newsletter that comes out from the national organization. It usually comes out on the first of the month. So hopefully you have received that and are able to enjoy the information, not only about our chapter, but also information coming from the national organization. And finally, the Communications Committee, we meet on the second and fourth Monday of every month at 8 p.m. via Zoom. Our next meeting is coming up on March the 13th. If you'd like to join us, definitely use the email on the screen to connect with us, and we'd love to have you on board. With that, if there are no questions, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Robin. And so now we will hear from community service with information shared by Paquita Austin Morgan. Paquita, are you on?
Yes. Are you able to hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, Madam President-elect. I am just tagging this for the Beacon of Light. That's a nod to our Spelman hymn. Sisters, we are excited to be connecting with Boyd Elementary School, where Joy Kilpatrick is the principal. And we are very excited about a new initiative with Boyd Elementary School called Be a Beacon of Light for Boyd Elementary. We are asking sisters to please look in your the registration for the Sisterhood Walk. You will see a list of items that Boyd Elementary School has indicated that they are in need of to support their students and their teachers. As well, there is an Amazon wish list that you can also, if you're not planning to attend the Sisterhood Walk next Saturday, you can still contribute and designate items through the Amazon wish list. So you can utilize the Member Planet list, designation list, or the Amazon wish list to designate items to donate to Boyd. And I am excited to be working with Nicole Dawson and Crystal Sidbury on this initiative, and also the Community Service Committee, Cece and Christina. So please let me know if you have additional questions. And that concludes my report, Madam President-elect.
Thank you, Paquita. We appreciate that. And so we are going to be looking forward to supporting you all with that initiative. Valerie, for Courtesy Committee, we have Valerie Fluker and Pamela Cooper.
Yes. Hello, my Spelman sister. How is everyone doing? And we want to wish happy birthday to everyone born in the month of March. Ashante Moody, Ashley Burrows, B. Nero, Camille Mays, Carmen Hughes, Kathy Bland, Chanel Huff Cox, Shakita Ellison, C. Thomas, Christina Polis, D. Fowler, Deanna Rogers, Dorothy Belto, Erica Gardner, Erica Seals Mitchell, Fanny Wooder, Jacqueline Wills, Jennifer Freeman, Candace Richardson, Kendra Driver, Kimberly Anderson, Latrice Coleman, Lydia Walker, Dr. Maggie Hurd, Maria Jones, Marilyn Whitley Carter, M. Lawrence, Pam Robinson, Patricia Scruggs, Rashida Heat, Rosalind Thomas, Tiffany Tate, Tiffany Groom, V. Henson, and Yvette Berry. Happy birthday. I now turn it over to Pam.
Hey, good afternoon, sisters. Glad to be here. We just wanted to do a couple of congratulations that we are aware of. So take that next slide. Okay, I'm still seeing the birthday slide, but I'll go ahead and congratulations to Kathy Hampton. She's the class of 90. She received her certification as a player agent for the National Basketball Association. So if you have any nephews, sons, or anybody maybe going to the NBA or in the NBA, please refer them to Kathy Hampton. And then also congratulations to Melika Kumba, who is actually, I would love to claim her as the class of 88. She looks like she's in the class of like 2008, but she's actually class of 81. She was honored by a group, Giwayan Miata, a dance group that she founded as a woman's leader. She's just an awesome sister. She's teaches African dance at Spelman and other places around the city, but she kind of started the movement of women drummers and dancers and dance troupes in Atlanta, or really brought a lot of awareness to it. So congratulations to them both. And Madam President-elect, if there are no questions, this concludes the Courtesy Committee report.
Thank you, Pam. We appreciate that. And so we will move on to fundraising with Patrice Francis, Crystal Woods, and Holly Fisher.
Good afternoon, my Spelman sisters. I am thrilled to report that we are well on our way towards the goal of getting more funds into our scholarship fund. And we will be hosting our event, Spelman Blue on the Greens, this April the 17th at Country Club of the South. Please register at sbotg.com. We need our volunteers and those that are going to play and those you are inviting to play, whether they are in the tennis clinic, the golf clinic, or actually on the golf course. Go ahead and get them to sign up. Our volunteers, every last one of them must sign up so that we can have proper information concerning the time of your availability, food requirements, and uniform requirements. You will also be trained by the illustrious Renee Days Wilson, and she will take care of giving you everything you need to make this a successful event. We are also getting ready for Spelman Jazz on the Lawn, which will take place at Spelman College on June 10th. We will get further details, but one thing I want to make sure everybody is aware of, in all of the cases, your participation is really key for our success. We have been thrilled thus far to receive $60,000 plus in our sponsorship commitments. Many of those folks are already sending those funds in, and we are excited to be able to say we are on our way towards the goal of making sure that we are putting money back into our chapter to support our scholars. Have a wonderful day. This concludes my report, Madam President-elect.
Thank you, Patrice. Camille, would you like to share a little bit about the 50/50 Blue raffle?
Guess it will help if I turn off the mute button. Sorry. Thank you, Madam President-elect. I'm Camille Sanders Patterson, and I would like to encourage everyone to participate in our 50/50 Blue. And what this is exactly is, for every dollar you donate, 50 cents comes back to you potentially if you win the pot. So the money we're raising, of course, goes towards our scholarship fundraising efforts. And the tickets are $10 each. You can enter as many times as you'd like. So if I put in, say, $100 and I win, I get 50 of that $100 back. So that's a nice little return on your investment. It's an easy money for us as a chapter, and it's easy money potentially for you to win. So we ask that everyone participate. I believe the link to participate in this month's raffle is in the chat. Again, easy money for us. And again, it goes towards a good cause, scholarship, and potentially your pocketbook. Thank you.
Thank you, Camille. We appreciate that. And we'll have our membership report from co-chairs Crystal Jackson, Camille Patterson, Nikita Patterson, and Shalonda Tucker.
Hi, sisters. Good afternoon. I am so excited to tell you all that not only did we reach our goal, but we surpassed our goal. We now have 520 members, and we just got to get some handshakes, some bells ringing or something. This has been an awesome collaboration. I don't want to call names because there's so many that really got behind us to help with this. There were social media posts, phone calls, home visits, text messages, email. I mean, you all were out here nudging our sisters to join. It shows that our teamwork really does work. And just so you know, we have 136 seasoned alum, 19 Golden Girls, 47 in the young alums, who I refer to as the youngins because they're just on fire all the time. And then our all other category has 317 members. So for that, we deserve a round of applause from everybody.
Yes, excellent. Thank you so much, Crystal, and to all of our members in the membership committee for helping us reach that goal. And so I'm going to stop sharing my screen, Crystal, so you can spin the wheel.
Okay.
Are you good? I'm stopped.
Yeah, can you guys see my screen?
No, we can't see it.
Not yet.
Okay, hold on. Let me see what the heck is going on. Can you see my screen now?
No. Oh,
Oh,
well,
it's coming up.
there we are.
Okay, here we go. Come on, come on, come on. Mariah Jones. Congratulations, Mariah. If you're not on the call, we'll be in touch.
All right, well, thank you, Crystal.
You're welcome.
And so now we are going to, we're going to move on to nominations with Dawn Griffin. Dawn?
Over, so I'm standing and using my computer. Hopefully you can hear me.
Yes.
Madam President-elect, can you give me a thumbs up letting me know you can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, thank you. Oops, and I lost my notes just that fast. During the February Atlanta chapter meeting, the nominating committee, in accordance with our bylaws, shared that the following positions are open for this election cycle: President-elect, Treasurer, Assistant Treasurer, Corresponding Secretary, Assistant Corresponding Secretary. The Nominations Committee has received the following nomination forms. For the position of President-elect, Camille Sanders Patterson, class of 1991. For the position of Treasurer, Tiffany Mackey, class of 2009. No nomination forms have been submitted for the positions of Assistant Treasurer, Corresponding Secretary, or Assistant Corresponding Secretary. Today, the Atlanta chapter will receive nominations from the floor for the following positions: President-elect, Treasurer, Assistant Treasurer, Corresponding Secretary, and Assisting Corresponding Secretary. Madam President-elect, I turn the microphone over to you to open the floor for nominations.
Okay, ladies, at this time, do we have any nominations for positions of president-elect? We're just going to go down the list.
That would be great.
And Dawn, would you like them to put the nominations in the chat?
For the record, if they will call a volunteer, come off microphone, volunteer, then they can place their information in the chat.
Okay.
And I'll get some additional instructions after we have received all the names.
Okay.
I would like to nominate Camille Sanders for president-elect.
Do we need to second that nomination?
No, we do not. She's already we've received her nomination form. This call is for additional nominations from the floor.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry.
And do we have any other nominations for the position of president-elect? I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
I'm sorry, I'm at another meeting.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
convention meeting. So if there are no additional nominations, Madam President-elect, you can close on that said name if there are no additional nominations from the floor.
Okay. So we'll close the nominations for the position of president-elect. Do we have any nominations for the position of treasurer? At this time? Anyone for any nominations for the position of the treasurer?
Miss Birdie Harden has her hand up.
Yes, Miss Birdie.
Miss Birdie, you need to take you're on mute still.
Yes, I'd like to nominate Denise Baker.
Denise Baker, okay.
I appreciate it, Miss Birdie, but I respectfully decline.
Oh my. Denise has declined, okay. Is there anyone else that would like to submit a nomination for the position of treasurer? Okay, we'll move forward. Are there any nominations for a position of assistant treasurer at this time? We'll move forward with the position of corresponding secretary. Do we have any nominations for the floor for corresponding secretary?
Madam
President-elect, you do have a hand.
Yes, Camille Sanders Patterson's hand is up.
Yes, Camille.
Yes, I nominate Dina Rogers.
Thank you for that nomination, Camille.
I respectfully decline. I can't take on responsibility. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'll think about it. But right now I'm in graduate school getting my doctorate, so don't know that I can commit.
I understand that, Dina, yes. Okay, so we'll move forward to assistant corresponding secretary. Do we have any nominations for that position?
I would like to recommend Robin Stokes. I think she's done a superior job. It should continue.
Thank you to my co-chair, very sweet, but I respectfully decline.
Okay, so if there are no other additional nominations for the positions of treasurer, assistant treasurer, correspondent secretary or assistant correspondent secretary. Dawn, can you give us any additional information as to what will need to happen next regarding filling these positions? Because as we move forward with our next year, upcoming year.
Absolutely. So we'll need to go back to the drawing board and determine what the process is for the open positions. We will move forward with our remaining calendar. So give me just a second to switch screens here. Ladies, with the close of today's call for nominations, at this point, no further nominations will be received for this election call. However, we will go back to the executive committee and determine next steps to revisit the nominations. Those nominated today will have until Saturday, March 11th to complete the nomination process by submitting the formal nomination form. And there is a QR code on the screen that you can use to complete your form. And I believe Robin is going to drop that in the chat box as well. Following the certification of candidates, the official slate of officers or candidates will need to be presented to the chapter during the April meeting. The nominating committee presented a recommendation to the executive board as well for a special call meeting of the Atlanta chapter to be held prior to the April 23 voting period to allow the nominating committee to present the slate of all certified candidates, as well as provide a forum where all certified candidates, including those that are running unopposed, will have the opportunity to speak to the chapter on their desire to serve. Sisters, please mark your calendars for Tuesday, March 21st, 2023 at 6 p.m. A meeting announcement will also be sent electronically. A reminder that we will be using an electronic voting platform for the 2023 election as was used for the 2022 election. The committee will work with the membership committee to determine the number of chapter members requiring paper ballots for the election, and those will be mailed with a due back date of April 30th, 2023. Electronic voting will begin on April 1st and conclude on April 30th. Additional details will be shared during the March 21st special meeting candidate speak forum and shared in advance of the voting period. Should you have any questions or concerns, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. Ladies, again, we will follow back up once the executive committee meets next to talk about next steps in order to fulfill the remaining open positions. So please stand by. Also, let me know if you have a change of heart and you have the ability to stand in, learn new processes, and lead the chapter to the next level. Madam President-elect, I can address any questions at this time.
The floor is open to Dawn. Anyone have any questions?
I have a quick question. This is Tiffany Mackey. If we have already
Hello, Tiffany.
Greetings. If we've already submitted the nomination form, we don't need to do it again before the 11th, correct?
No, you do not have anything else to do. For the two candidates that submitted paperwork by the deadline, you have done what you needed to do. We will follow up with additional instructions in preparation for the candidate speaks form.
Great, thank you.
Thank you for your willingness to serve.
Thank you, Dawn.
Are there any additional questions for me? If not, again, I apologize. My conference meeting did not conclude on time, and so I'm doing this in the hallway at another meeting. So thank you so much, sisters, for your willingness to serve. That concludes my report, Madam President-elect.
Thank you so much, Dawn.
Thank you.
And so now we'll move forward with the report from the programs, and I'll share with you two of our upcoming events. And one will take place next Saturday, and that is our Sisterhood Walk. And we will be walking with the mayor of Forest Park. Her name is Mayor Angeline Butler. She is the class of 2007, and they have mapped out a secure route for us while we will be walking. We will have police escorts, and after we finish our walk, we will be treated to a brunch at the Forest Park Community Center, which is across the street and in the parking lot where most of us will be parking in order to participate in the walk on the 8th. This is not just going to be a walk, but we're going to incorporate a challenge so that we are not just walking and socializing, but challenging ourselves physically. And we will do that with a 1 mile piece of the multi-mile route that they have planned for us. So we look forward to you all joining us. So take a moment before the end of the afternoon to log on to Member Planet to reply to the RSVP for participation in the walk and also the brunch. We have a limited number of seats available for the brunch, and this is a special event for members only. So we want you to join us for that coming up next Saturday. The next events that we have coming up is the Sisterhood Sunday, which is going to take place on Sunday, April the 2nd at 1 o'clock. And so whenever we have events, we always want to take a picture. So we hope that you will be able to join us for Sisterhood Sunday so that we'll be able to take a picture inside the chapel or on the steps of Sisters Chapel as a chapter. And so I also invite you to join the programs committee. We meet every first and third Monday at 7 o'clock. So our next meeting is coming up this upcoming Monday. So we look forward to seeing you there. And so I will now share for the slide for advocacy and social justice for Renee Wilson.
Thank you, Madam President-elect. Good afternoon, ladies. This is an exciting week that we have coming up. It is Spelman Day at the Capitol, and we are in person. And we're asking everyone in Georgia, not just the Atlanta chapter, but our Spelman sisters throughout the state, to join us at the Capitol wearing your Spelman blue in business attire. And this is going to be a great opportunity because we had a very eventful election season. And now that whoever is in office, we want to hold them accountable, but we want to hold them accountable with us being knowledgeable of the facts and what legislation is being presented. And so we're going to hear from our legislators that represent us in the various cities that we live in, as well as from experts in different topics, and have an opportunity to hear how we're being impacted in regards to education, to maternal health, and criminal justice. And really exciting time because Dr. Gale is going to join us as well. We'll take a photo on the south steps of the Capitol, receive the resolution for Dr. Gale, and lunch will be offered to us as well. This is all being sponsored by Gail Davenport. So please RSVP so we can have a correct count for the number of lunches. We don't want to be short, nor do we want to be wasteful and have an abundance of lunches for those who are not attending. Looking forward to you all coming out this Wednesday, and that concludes my report. Any questions?
I have a question about the Spelman Day at the Capitol. Where will we be meeting?
So that is on the slide. We're going to meet in the Paul D. Coverdale Legislative Office Building. And that is 18 Capitol Square. That is the actual address. And then we'll walk over together for the picture in the hearing of the resolution, and then coming back over to that room for the meeting and to hear from legislators and the speakers.
So this building is where in relations to the actual Capitol building, like down the street?
It's across the street from it.
Across the street. Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Camille Sanders Patterson has a question too.
2 questions. What time do we need? I know it starts at 9. What are we meeting before then? And then where do you recommend as far as parking? Or do you
There's parking right at the corner of the Capitol. Every time I've had to go is available, and I don't remember the exact price point. I don't think it's more than $20. I don't recall, the last time I did it was about 2 years ago, but I've never, anytime I've gone, I never had problems finding parking in that parking lot. And also, what was the other question? What time? It starts at 9, but we're asking, and while it starts at 9:30, we're gathering at 9. And then we're going to go over at 9:30, but I suggest, because, you know, as you've just asked about parking, walking, and just the hustle and bustle of downtown Atlanta, I would say to try to shoot for walking in at 9, not arriving and parking at 9. And I will be on site as early as 8:30.
Thank you.
Sure. Karen, I see Karen has asked if it's possible to carpool from the school. Absolutely, Karen. I just say that if any sisters want to do that, you all respond in the chat and huddle up together. I will not be doing that because I have to get there early, but I encourage anyone to do that. That's a great economical way and sustainable way to get down there, to carpool together. Any other questions? Thank you, Madam President-elect.
Thank you, Renee. We're going to move to fitness, health, and wellness. Camille?
Hi, everyone. The Fitness, Health, and Wellness Committee is, sorry, hold on a second. We're planning a lot of events for the remainder of the year, and we're really excited, and we hope that we'll see you at one of our next events. We have a Flow and Restore, which is yoga and sound bath meditation, which is happening March 18th at 2 p.m. at Rhythm Studios. And following that, next month, we'll have a repeat of our New Year, New Groove dance class event. For those of you all who were able to make the January event, it was a really great workout, and it was great to take African dance with Omelika Kumba. So we're doing that again, also at Rhythm Studios, Saturday, April 8th. We're asking folks to arrive at 7, and all of the details are on the NAASC website. So please register and come prepared for a great workout. If there are no other questions, this concludes my report.
Thank you so much, Camille. Jennifer McReynolds, are you on?
Hi, Madam President-elect, I am on. Hello, sisters. I just wanted to let you know and also provide a reminder for those of you that have registered already that the investment club, the Wealth Building Wednesdays investment club, is actually hosting our first real estate investment tour of Forest Park with our sister mayor, Angeline Butler. And so I will drop in the chat in just a minute, the registration. Oh, there we go. Thank you, Robin. The registration, I think we still have some availability. If you want to register, we are going on March the 14th at 11 a.m. from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And so what I do encourage you that if you are interested in, please register and then just provide an indication if you just want to attend for information purposes only, information educational purposes, or if you are an investor. So we're going to be hearing about redevelopment in Forest Park for both commercial real estate and residential real estate. And we will be having a luncheon as well. And so I know we have some limited availability, but we still have some availability left. And then also a reminder for our next investment club meeting, which is coming up on Wednesday, March the 15th, so the day after the real estate tour. And on this meeting, we are going to be making investments, hearing about and making investments into either a small, mid, or large cap stock. So we are looking at Chewy's, we're looking at Wingstop, and we are looking at McDonald's. And then we're also going to be hearing about index funds and investing in index funds. We'll be doing 2 different investments on that evening, and that will be on Wednesday, March the 15th. Please drop in the chat if you're interested in membership, if you would like to join the investment club, or I will drop the email if you want to send me a note saying that you are interested. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. So we'll move on to seasoned alum with Denise Brew-Clopton.
Good afternoon, Madam President-elect and my Spelman sisters. I hope you all are well on this nice day. The seasoned alumni report, excuse me, is as follows. We are expecting on March the 25th to have a bling bling, excuse me, I'm looking at what Zoom is trying to tell me to do that I'm not doing. Okay, excuse me. Our bling bling bingo on March the 25th, it will be virtual and it will be coming up soon. You'll see a flyer to register for that. And it's not just for seasoned alumni, it's for anyone who is interested in bling bling bingo. So for all of you who like that, please do come out and join us. Our next event will be Line Dance on April the 18th, which flyer has already gone out for registration, and it will be at the Friendship Community Church, and it will be an inside event. Excuse me. So for those who are not wanting to be outside, it will be inside. And it's, again, not just for seasoned sisters, it's for anyone who would like to join us for line dancing. Our upcoming tea, a celebration in Royal Blue High Tea will be coming up in June. Our tentative date is scheduled for June the 24th. The time to be determined, but we are looking forward to celebrating our Golden Sisters class of 2023. And finally, we had 2 new members join our committee. Rosa Drayton, the class of 72, and Blanche Smith, the class of 75. And I am so excited because that brings the total of with those 2 new members, the total membership, the seasoned alum, to 22 members. So I have given myself and the committee a drum roll here. I am excited. And I'm excited, aside from the number, that the ladies that we have on our committee are wonderful ladies. We have fun together and it's a working committee. So if anyone else still wants to join, there's always room for another sister. So please let us know. We meet the second Tuesday of the month at 6 p.m. via Zoom. And finally, our next meeting is March 14th at 6 p.m. If there are no questions or comments, that is my report. Hearing none, that's my report. Please have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Thank you, Madam President-elect.
It looks like Crystal may have gotten kicked off. We'll give her a second just to get back in.
She's back on.
Okay.
I don't know what happened. Okay, so we're going to move forward to the Spell Moms. Allie?
Thank you so much, Madam President-elect. Hi, Spelman sisters. It has been a wonderful year for Spell Moms. We've had a lot of exciting, we've had a lot of exciting things planned and scheduled and followed through with, and it's just been enjoyable. And so if you see the upcoming meetings, as moms, we are accustomed to our children playing. And so what you see here is not our traditional schedule. We usually meet in the evenings, but I wanted to try something this year as we are preparing to close out this year. I wanted to see what it looks like to really try out and really accommodate, because as a mom, you often see people drop out of organizations, social organizations, because they don't have the time, they don't have the support, they just don't have a lot of things. So this year we're going to play with some things. And while, yes, I am a working mom, I'll be there because I'm going to use my lunch break to do it. So on Monday, March 13th, this will be our first time trying our hands at having a noonday meeting. Usually as I said, our meetings are in the evening. So I encourage you all, even if you're at work, jump in and see what we're doing. If you are a stay-at-home mom, this is for you. If you are a working mom, you have a lunch break. If you are a pumping mom, I'm still nursing as well. So I know that I can use some of that time, and just have it on while I'm doing that and have some supportive space for myself. So that's really the goal. Yep, Denise. And so I'm hoping that this will really support and accommodate our moms, because we're always watching the kids play. So it's our turn. So let's try this out. And I encourage you, if you know a mom, regardless of what stage she is in this process, beginning, seasoned, wherever she is in the journey, I implore you to encourage her to jump in, because it's nothing like having support on this journey. As a third time around mom still going, support is what you need. And so this is the goal of Spell Moms. So if you just take a screenshot and log into our meetings and join us. On Saturday, April the 15th, we are going to be going to the Let's Walk. So it says Let's Walk and Talk together on the Beltline. This is already scheduled by programs, but moms will be there. So I implore you to register so that we can make sure to have something nice for you and your littles out there on that day. Outside of that, I am asking you all to come to these meetings, because we are having a For Spell Moms only event. The majority of the events that we've done this year have been family-oriented events and events for our children. Well, now it's our turn to have real fun. So if you want to be a part of that process, please come and get engaged and join us as this opportunity to sister together. It's nothing like a mother needing to be mothered. And as a mom of a 1-year-old, 4-year-old, and now 6-year-old, I can truly say that in this process of being a mom, you need to be mothered and sistered. So I implore you all, I welcome you all, come out, join with us. The kids can run, people will be watching, you can enjoy yourself, have some food, forget those kids, whatever you need to do. These are the spaces that are for us. So I hope you will come out. I hope you will feel supported. And if you don't, this is a co-creatorship. Speak up and let us know what works for you. So I look forward to working with you all. I look forward to everything that we're going to be able to do in this remaining time that we have together in this year. And as we are preparing for next year, let's have fun. Let's enjoy. Have a great Saturday. Thank you so much. Any questions or comments or thoughts? Okay, hearing none. Thank you all so much. Have an excellent Saturday.
Thank you, Allie. And we're going to move to student recruitment and engagement with Tiffany Mackey.
Greetings and good afternoon, sisters. Thank you, Madam President-elect. Tiffany Mackey here. I am so grateful. Let me make sure. Okay, I had to make sure I actually unmuted myself. One of those days, y'all. So we are meeting before I forget, we have our next committee meeting next Tuesday, but during the month of February, we had a wonderful time. I must thank Jennifer for coming to the HBCU College Fair with me. You see the picture there. We had a lovely time. We talked to wonderful potential students, literally from all ages. We talked to a 5th grader to seniors, all the way up. So it was a really good time at Tri-City School. If you are STARS certified, I know there was just another STARS training. So if you are STARS certified, this was one of our STARS events. And they were very, very excited to have Spelman there. And shout out to our Spelman sisters sister who works at Tri-Cities who gave us the information and got us there. Again, our next committee meeting is next Tuesday. So if you would like to join us, please do. And then we also are looking to send out digital wishes to our Spelman sisters. Their midterms are next week, and then they are going on spring break. I'm hearing great things. I'm hearing prayer requests from some of our Spelman sisters who are like, help me with discipline, make sure I can get everything done. So please keep our sisters in your prayers, but you will also get further instructions if you would like to be partnered with a sister. So please keep a lookout for that, and we will send them digital wishes. And then we are trying to work with SGA to plan a trap yoga season kickoff, which will be March 19th. Are there any questions? Hearing none, I return to you, Madam President-elect. Thank you.
Thank you, Tiffany. And so we will finish out our committee reports with the Young Alumni Committee with Jasmine Orman and Christina Polanis.
Hi, Crystal. I'll also be giving them the Young Alumni Report. Both Jasmine and Christina are in other meetings right now.
Yes, ma'am.
So our upcoming events for Young Alumni, excuse Morgan in the background. We have our Herstory Sisterhood Brunch coming up on March 18th at 11:30 a.m. April 11th, we'll have a Young Alumni Happy Hour from 5 to 7. Our committee meetings are held on every third Thursday at 7 p.m. So we look forward to any young alum. We know we currently have 47 young alum. We welcome all young alum and young at heart to our events. Thank you.
Thank you, Denise. And so we just want to finish out complete our unfinished business, if any, and share with you some upcoming announcements. We do have the book signing that's going to take place this afternoon in just a little bit at 4 o'clock. Making it happen. And so you see the details there on the screen, and it looks to be at the 44th and 3rd bookseller. You can register through Eventbrite for participation in that event. We also have the Say Yes to the White Dress that's coming back, and that's going to take place on April the 1st. You can drop the dresses off in the Suites meeting room, room 210 on April the 1st, and also between now and March 31st at the Public Safety Building on campus. You can leave the dress with the police officers and they'll make sure that it gets to the Office of Alumni Engagement. We also have the Professional Development Spell House Symposium coming up on Saturday, March the 25th. And so you should see correspondence with that through email. And if not, we'll make sure that you have the link in the chat so that you'll be able to participate in that. And so do we have Michelle Davis Archie on the call to share some information with us about Patty Cake's birthdays?
Greetings, I am here.
Hi,
Thank you,
Michelle.
everybody. I'll be brief. I see that our time is winding up here, but Adrian was kind enough to post my logo there. I don't know how to sum this up really quickly, but basically it's a nonprofit that I started a couple years ago. And what I do is I provide birthday packages for children in group homes, homeless shelters, and foster care. I work at a middle school as an academic coach, so sometimes I get referrals from counselors and teachers about students who, especially if they're low income, often children and adults, they may go a whole day and nobody tells them happy birthday on their birthday, depending on their situation. So I was touched by a business that I saw similar to this in Pennsylvania. And again, I started a couple years ago. I am on Instagram and Facebook. At this point, I guess I'm gonna put my number in the chat, but I have, I've been doing a fundraiser this year. I have Zelle and Cash App. And again, I'm only a couple years old, so I'm still kind of new at this. I have a board, a small board member, and that's what I do. I do birthday. It's usually cake and gift and balloons, books. Everybody gets a book The educator in me, you're not just gonna get a toy or a gift card, whatever your age, even the 2-year-olds, I put a book in there and hopefully somebody will read it to them.
Okay,
And,
excellent.
That's a fact. Thank you.
Excellent. Well, thank you for sharing that with us, Michelle. We have one additional announcement. Robin?
Yes, thank you, Madam President-elect. Before I make my announcement, Michelle, if you would be so kind as to drop your information in the chat. There's some questions about how people can get involved.
Will do, thank you.
And then, and just one more announcement, ladies. The 16th annual BCU Run Walk is coming up on Saturday, June the 24th at 8 a.m. If anybody who has participated in this event with us before knows what a great event that it is, it's a fun afternoon or fun morning to get out and get some exercise and have some fun camaraderie with other HBCU alums in the area. But it's also a benefit to the chapter because the chapters get money from the amount of registrations that we get, as well as direct donations. And you know, we as Spelman women are competitive. Last year, we were beat by FAMU by 3 registrations. And we certainly don't want that to happen again this year. So we want to come back to taking this top spot. So just a reminder to sign up for that event. I'm dropping the link in the chat. The price goes up about every 15 days or so. So make sure that you get on top of that. Right now, price is $30 until March the 15th. But we hope to see you there.
Thank you so much, Robin. And if there are no other announcements that anyone would like to share, I will remind you after the conclusion of this meeting and we sing the Spelman hymn, there will be a special presentation by the Bylaws Committee. Well, they will go through each of the proposed amendments with you one by one, and you can you can ask all the questions that you'd like to receive answers for, okay? Does anyone else have any questions? And so we'll now play the Spelman hymn.
Madam President, like you may have to stop sharing and reshare sharing your sound. We can't hear anything.
Still no sound.
You're not getting it at all?
And you're no longer sharing your screen either.
Yeah, you said to stop sharing the screen.
Stop sharing, click share your sound, and then reshare again.
When you click share, there's a button at the bottom that says share your audio or share sound.
Madam President-elect, let me see if I can do it for you.
Easy Wheels started as my college project, and we now sell our wheel covers all around the world.
Thank you, ladies. And so we'll allow for bylaws to begin their presentation.
Crystal, can I share my screen?
You should have the rights to share, Gina.
Thank you. Sorry, I have several screens. Give me a second. Okay, can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. First, I wanted to recognize the bylaws committee. Can maybe raise their hand so everyone can see. They will be participating. Everyone will be participating today in helping us go through the bylaws. So I know we can't spotlight everybody, but if you could raise your hand so everyone can see who all of our committee members are. In the interest of time, I'm not going to call out all the names, but Amanda and I are going, I don't know if Amanda is able to stay with us today, but we are going to go through the bylaws and the committee will help with any questions. So the first bylaw amendment that was proposed, you see here on the screen, and actually 2 different groups of people submitted this recommendation. And so I combined it all into one slide for you. And it is the Courtesy Committee, Article 5, Section 4E. And the original content was, and let me share my screen differently so you can see it larger. 1 second. Okay, now it's much bigger. The original content, the committee shall have the responsibility of soliciting hostess groups, alumni, classes, or church alumni to prepare refreshments for each general meeting. It shall also plan refreshments for all special events in conjunction with the programs committee. The proposed content from both groups, the hospitality committee shall have the responsibility of soliciting hostess groups to prepare refreshments for each general meeting. It shall also plan refreshments for all special events in conjunction with the program committee. The change that you see is it being the hospitality committee and not the courtesy committee. So the suggestion was to reinstate the hospitality committee that has been a committee in the past. The rationale, there were 2 rationales. Essentially, duties are entirely different from what the courtesy committee's responsibility are and what committee members signed up to do. The courtesy committee does not want it attached to their responsibilities. However, another committee can do it. And also the courtesy committee is meant to bring courtesies to others. Planning and providing refreshments for all meetings seems to be outside the scope of an already full program schedule. This is more of a hospitality function. And please note that this language is taken directly from the members that proposed the amendments. And so we will pause here for any questions, but before we take questions, I did want to allow our parliamentarian to address the floor. I'm sorry, I forgot to let us know the proper procedures for dues paying members to ask questions. The parliamentarian's on. Erica?
I apologize.
Okay.
I did not hear you. I just heard parliamentarian. Can you repeat that, please?
Oh, before we take questions, wanted to see if you can address the body as to how any rules to follow and dues paying members will be able to ask questions.
What we've discussed is that only dues paying members can ask questions, and we don't really have a really efficient process to ensure who is a dues paying member or not. As I recall, we agreed to work or operate on the honor system. Certainly, if there is anyone on the call who recognizes that someone is not a dues paying member, that can be addressed in the chat. Is that sufficient?
Yes, we're going to have everyone put their name in the chat if they want to ask a question so we could verify, but are there any rules for asking questions to keep proper decorum? Is there anything that you want to share? Or
you might ask that if there's a question that needs to be asked, that members raise their hand, and they can be acknowledged either by you in the order that we see their hands, or I'm happy to assist in terms of the order that we see hands raised, whatever your preference is.
Okay, and I can't see any hands or anything because I'm sharing my screen, so
okay,
we'll need assistance of the committee to call on people.
The Spelman Sisters, we would just ask that you raise your hand if you have a question and that you wait to be recognized before raising your question.
I'm also here I can see the chat. I just don't have my video on because I'm out.
Oh, good.
Perfect.
Okay, sorry. All right, so are there any questions about the first amendment?
On page no 8 something. that was gonna be impossible, but I moved by faith over there.
I don't know if that was a question.
I think someone accidentally came off mute.
Okay, so hearing none, we will move to the next one. Oops. Duties of President, Article 3, Section 6A. There was not original content for this. Proposed content, she shall be responsible for timely completion and submission of reports required by NAASC. The suggested changes made, the chapter president is the primary interface of the local chapter with the Southeast region and national NAASC. There's no mention of this role in the responsibilities of the president. The removal of the responsibility for preparing reports required by the NAASC also seems to overlook chapter responsibilities to the NAASC. If the president does not have this key role, who does? Historically, specific chapter reports were the way that the NAASC could determine compliance with the national, and this may have changed, but we would like to ask the committee to look at how this role is fulfilled, not by the president. My recommendation is to add back, prepare or ensure that reports required by the NAASC are submitted. And the rationale was the president prepares and or ensures that reports are completed, and the reports establish we are in compliance in the chapter with the national organization and should be added back to the bylaws. And we'll open the floor for any questions.
You have a hand from Bertie Harden.
Ms. Birdie, you may ask your question.
I just wanted to take exception to the fact that it was in the original content. It seemed to have been taken out in one of the versions.
Just to clarify, original content in this parameter means the one that we just passed this last fall. So you're correct in saying it was in like the 2015 and 2016 version, but the original now is the one that we agreed upon as a chapter in October of 2022. So I think you're right. You're right in saying it was an oversight that it didn't transfer over, but when we mean original, again, we're meeting the 2022 one.
Okay.
Thank you, though.
Any additional questions? Okay, hearing none. The next amendment, duties of president-elect, Article 3, Section 6B. The original content, she shall coordinate the activities of the standing committees of the chapter. The proposed content, remove number 4 in its entirety from under president-elect. The suggested change, item 4 should be deleted. This conflicts with the role of the president listed in Section 6A12. She shall have the responsibility of seeing that all officers and committees function in their respective duties and that the activities of all committees are coordinated. The rationale, she shall coordinate the activities of the standing committee of the chapter conflicts with the role of president under number 12. She shall have the responsibility of seeing that all officers and committees function in their respective duties and that the activities of all committees are coordinated. If you'd like to see the full version of the bylaws, I meant to remind you that you can go to the NAASC website. If you were a dues paying member by January 31st, you received an email with the password. If you did not, you'll receive another email this week with the password because it's only for dues paying members. And are there any questions?
There are no hands raised.
Okay, hearing none. Next amendment, vacancy in office, Article 3, Section 8. The original content, vacancy in office in case the office of president becomes vacant through death or resignation. The president-elect shall succeed to the office for the unexpired term. In cases of vacancies in other offices, the executive committee shall be empowered to select a replacement for the unexpired terms. So the proposed content is to keep everything except at the bottom, at the end, add except for the case of president-elect, where a special election will be held. That's the only change. And the reason the bylaws do not address how to replace the president-elect. This is an extremely important position because the chapter does not elect a president. As the bylaws currently read, the executive committee would select a replacement for the unexpired term. The problem here is that when the term ends as president-elect, that person becomes the chapter president with no input from the membership. Special provisions should be made for a special election for a president-elect when that position becomes vacant, as it was the case when this was written. We should not be in a position to have a president that has not been elected by the body. And so I think I covered the rationale pretty much already. I just stated that under suggested changes. So I'll open the floor for questions.
No hands have been raised.
No. Okay, hearing none. Standing committees, Article 5, Section 2. The original content says each committee shall consist of at least 3 members. The chair is to be appointed by the president unless otherwise noted. Proposed content, each committee shall consist of at least 3 members. The chair is to be appointed by the president unless otherwise noted. The leadership of a committee may consist of a chair or a chair and a co-chair. So essentially, the suggested changes are the committee may speak more to this comment may speak more to a standard operating procedure, but we still need to vote on it. As the executive committee has more elected positions, there needs to be a limit on the number of co-chairs for committees. If a committee may consist of 3, then we do not need 3 co-chairs. No change is being suggested for the bylaws, instead, possibly the SOPs. And the rationale, if a committee may consist of 3, then we do not need 3 co-chairs. The size of the executive committee is a concern. Additionally, everybody can't be a chief. We need some workers on the committee. The function of the committee is to groom others to move into leadership in the organization. And I'll open the floor for questions. Okay.
I'm not seeing any.
Okay. The next one is ad hoc committees. Article 6, Section 4. The committee shall have the responsibility to work with the college to promote and create awareness among prospective students and to support recruitment activities, plans, outreach, and events for admitted and accepted students. The proposed content is for the Student Recruitment and Engagement Committee to have the responsibility to work with the college to promote and create awareness among prospective students and to support recruitment activities, plans, outreach, and events for admitted and accepted students. The committee will plan the annual freshwoman welcome. Suggested changes, who basically they were questioning who will have the responsibility for the annual freshman welcome, program committee or student recruitment and engagement. Article 6, Section 4, traditionally, this has been a responsibility of the program committee, but none of the stated objectives in the program committee address activities for students. And of course, the rationale, I basically just said the Student Recruitment Committee focuses on recruitment, and it would be suitable for the annual freshman welcome to be the responsibility of this committee. While this has traditionally been the responsibility of the program committee, none of the stated objectives address activities for students. Now open the floor for questions. This is easy.
There seems to be no questions.
Okay. Corresponding secretary, Article 3, Section 6E8. She shall maintain an up-to-date roster of all chapter committees. The proposed content is she shall maintain a current record of all chapter committees, standing and/or ad hoc. The suggested change is basically removing the word roster and up-to-date. The rationale, because the language conflicted with the following duties of the recording secretary. According to the recording secretary's duty, Article 3, Section 6, C9, she maintains a list of all the members of each committee, standing or ad hoc. So she already has the up-to-date rosters of all the chapter committees. And I'll open the floor for questions. Okay.
Not seeing any questions again.
Right. We're almost to the end. The next one is the NAASC dues, Article 4, Section 2A. Now I combined all the ones that came in on dues into one slide. So it may not be all by the same person, but original content, new alumni, most recent graduating class. Currently it's 50% for their dues. The proposed content is for the new alumni, most recent graduating class to be free. The suggested change is to change the dues amount from 50% off, 50% off to free. And the rationale is to align with national because our dues amounts are the same. For a young alum, currently 2 to 5 years, they get 25% off. The proposed content is to change that to 50% off. Rationale, again, aligning with nationals. And then lastly, the NAASC dues shall be paid directly to the NAASC or may be paid to the Atlanta chapter for remittance to the NAASC. The proposed content is to add to that and state dues must be paid to the NAASC in order to be an active member of the NAASC Atlanta chapter. And it's obvious what the change was and the rationale. While it is implied for clarity, the bylaws should specify in some way that standalone membership in the NAASC Atlanta chapter is not an option. To be considered an active member of the chapter, one must be a member of both the national and the chapter. So this makes it clearer. And any questions?
Nothing in the chat.
Okay, hearing none. Meetings, Article 3, Section 1. The original content, the chapter business meeting shall be held on the first Saturday of September, October, February, March, May, and June. Meetings that fall on holiday weekends will be scheduled for the next Saturday of the month. These business meetings may be held via face-to-face, conference call, or webinar. Well, the proposed content is to essentially add back in December. It was an oversight. December has always been a meeting month, and it was in the previous 2016 bylaws. So the rationale is they've always been held in December. Any questions?
Not seeing anything in the chat.
Okay. This is our last one, if I remember correctly, and this is an amendment to the amendments. And essentially, after the committee has really worked hard to go through all of this, and we noticed there was some need to clarify and make things really clear. So what you will see, it's 2 pages, so bear with me. What you will see is on the right, on the left, the original content, if it's bolded under proposed, that means that that is something that was already there. So I guess I'll go through and read it, but I'm going to just read the proposed, but just know the bold means it was already there. Amendments to the bylaws may be presented by any active chapter member and shall be amended by the following procedures. A, the bylaws committee shall correct Scrivener's errors without having to come to a vote by the general body. B, proposed amendments to the bylaws shall be submitted in writing via email is sufficient to the bylaws committee on the proposed bylaws amendment form. C, proposed amendments shall be circulated to each member of the bylaws committee at least 30 days prior to the convening of the meeting where they will be discussed. D, the bylaws committee shall review and provide its recommendation for each proposed amendment that meets the requirements stated in Article 11, Section 1B. E, the bylaws committee shall present its recommendation for each proposed amendment that meets the requirements stated in Article 11, Section 1B to the executive committee. F, the executive committee shall present its recommendation for each proposed amendment that meets the requirements stated in Article 11, Section 1B to the general body for a vote. G, the bylaws shall be amended by a 2/3 affirmative vote of the voting electorate at the chapter meeting or a special meeting called by the executive committee for that purpose, provided that the notice of such meeting shall specify the subject matter of the proposed amendment and the articles to be accepted thereby. And then adding a Section 2 effective date, amendments to the bylaws shall take effect immediately following a favorable vote at the meeting in which they were adopted. And the rationale, more clarity was needed on some of the steps, and then the order of the amendments was changed a little bit to mirror the actual amendment process. Are there any questions?
No questions in the chat.
Okay. Amanda, do you want to explain what the next steps are?
Yes, thank you everyone for staying on. So the next steps is that we'll do electronic voting on these amendments. Again, you will only get the ballot or the electronic voting mechanism if you are a dues paying member as of February 15th. So if you're uncertain if you are, please make sure you can check with the Secretary of Financial or corresponding to make sure you're on the list. We will have 30 days to then vote on it, or yeah, 30 days, correct, Dina?
Yes, voting will open on March 12th and it will close on March 19th.
I'm sorry. So 7 days to vote on it. But in the process of voting, if you have any questions, please feel free to send an email to us. Again, we do understand there are additional amendments that will need to be coming down the pipeline. So we're only voting on the amendments that we spoke about today. Any questions from anyone?
I did want to make sure just to take 30 seconds to acknowledge the committee. Kimberly Daniels, Stacy Utsi, Camille Patterson, Rashida Hassan, Sharon Reese, Sheila Lauder, Tara Buckner, Erica Walker Cash, Allison Eason Jenkins, and of course, Amanda and myself, but we want to recognize them for all the hard work. It's been, a year, 2 years, 5 years? No, it's been a lot. But they have been in the trenches and really, I learned a lot personally, but really made sure that everything was together and making sure that it represented what the general body wanted. And they never gave up. And so both Amanda and I appreciate them.
It has not been easy, so we just want to say thank you again, especially we know that this is a voluntary role for everyone involved. And so it does take a lot of labor of love to be continuing to do this. So thank you again.
That concludes our presentation, 341.
Thank you, Dina and Amanda. If no one else has any other questions for the bylaws committee and the proposed amendments that they have shared with us this afternoon, this will conclude our March meeting. Thank you, ladies, and you all have a great weekend.
Thank you, Spelman Sisters.
Thank you, sisters.
Peace and blessings. Have a sensational Saturday.
Bye.
Take care.
Amazing job, Madam President-elect.
Thank you, Camille. So you,
Wait.
okay, cool. So you,
There are,
wait a minute, my phone is buzzing off.
Robin, is this you that's still on here?
Sorry?
Yes, ma'am.
Robin,
Yes.
NAASC Atlanta chapter?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you stopped the recording, right?
Yes, I did. I'm working on it. I was reading the disclaimer.
I don't know if Joan, Cheryl, or Chandra are still here, or if they had to step away.
They might have stepped away. Hey, Chandra Britt Armstrong.
I know she used to be on my investment club team.
Oh, we go to the same church.
Well, okay. This phone has been buzzing since.
The meeting started.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. Hold on a second. On the strong screen.
Okay. So,
hold please. Hold on.
Okay.